Knicks family, what's popping? It's your boy, Simeon Russell, coming at you with nothing but Knicks. We just seen the Cavs blow game 3 after leading all game. But anyway, that's the finals. We're going to talk about the Knicks. We're going to touch on the finals a little bit, but we're going to talk about the Knicks, their workouts. Let's rock. Knicks family, what's popping? What's good? Stick a fork in them. It's time for them to go fishing, as they say on TNT. It's done. It's done. I'm sure there's some people that will believe in LeBron James, right? And say that LeBron James can come back. I don't. Not with this squad. Listen, Steph Curry didn't even play the best game. Didn't even play well. And you see what happened. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, that first game, the Cavs needed that first game. They had to get that first game in order to stay competitive in this series. They had the Warriors on the ropes, and they blew it. They blew that first game. They had the Warriors on the ropes. Not for the series did they have them on the ropes, but they had them on the ropes in that game. That was an important game. I believe that the Cavs needed to win that game in order to be competitive for this series, in order to stay in this series. And they didn't do it. They couldn't do it. They weren't good enough. They're not good enough. It's over. It's done. KD came to play. Listen, KD had enough. He had enough of it. He said, I'm done. I'm tired of hearing y'all running off at the mouth about me not being this or that or not having the heart. He was tired of it. So he let it be known who he was. KD did the thing tonight, boy. Can't say too much more about it. KD did his thing. You know what I mean? KD, the dude is a sniper. He is a sniper when he wants to be. You know what I'm saying? He's cool. He's cool. He's calm on the court. But he'll smack you real quick. Real quick. KD will smack you real quick and make you look real bad. And it's over for the Cleveland Cavaliers in this series. Maybe they pull out a game. I don't even know if they're going to pull out a game. I think they're going to get swept. You know what I'm saying? I think they're going to get swept. I don't think they can do it. They don't have the firepower to do it. You know what I mean? They just won't do it. King Quan, you said LeBron looks defeated. I agree. He looks defeated. He doesn't look like he's... doesn't look like he's there. He knows. Listen, LeBron's played against these guys for, what's this, the 4th year in a row? He's played against these guys for 3 straight years. He knows what they bring to the table. He knows what he has on his team. He knows it. And that's the reason why you've seen the reaction you've seen in the timeout during game 1. You've seen that reaction because he knew this was our chance. We win this game. This was our chance to prove to ourselves that we can beat this team. And then the fact that you had the chance to put them away in game 1, steal home court advantage, and you blew it. You threw your best punch, and it still wasn't enough to win. He knew right there. That's it. That's it. Everything else in the series, he knew. Everything else is semantics. You know. Angel 22, you said, do I think that LeBron is leaving? I'm not sure. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's leaving or not. I honestly think it's going to be a very hard decision for him right now, I think that it's going to be. And yeah, I see someone said turn off the TV. I'm gonna turn it off. Um, I'm gonna shut it off. I just like to come on with it on, but I'm gonna take it down so that YouTube, the YouTube police don't come after me. But I think it's gonna be a tough decision for LeBron. He went to Cleveland. He won. He's been to the championship, whatever it was, 4 straight years with them. And I think he probably feels like his job is done, but I think he also knows, and he's spoken about it before, he does understand that, and it's crazy for one guy to mean so much to a region, but him being in the region impacts that Rust Belt corridor, specifically Ohio, Cleveland, Akron area. It impacts them economically. And I think he carries that weight on his shoulders, from things that I read about when he left Cleveland the first time and the economic struggles that brought to the city and the surrounding area, the surrounding metro area. That's wild to me. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of wild that one person can have such an impact on a region, And so I think that weighs on him, and it definitely impacts his decision on whether or not he's going to stay or leave. I think he also is very conscious of his career, his legacy. I don't know if there's another athlete in the history of the NBA that's been so aware of his legacy. See, LeBron has been groomed to be the so-called king since he was young. Right? He's been groomed for this. And some of these younger guys, some of these older guys, Michael Jordan and them guys, they weren't really groomed the way LeBron was groomed, because the game was different. Like, you played it on the playground, you played it in high school, and you played it in college. You went through the traditional ranks. Today, and in LeBron's era, everything is totally different. With the way that AAU is set up, AAU is almost set up like a professional game. Listen, there are pro teams that don't play in front of as many people as in AAU games. Sometimes your very high level high school teams play in front of more people than professional players. Professional players in the development league, in the ABA league, and some things like that. It's so, yeah, he was brought up in a different time, so he's very conscious of his legacy, and so I do think he wants to win more championships. I think part of his legacy is going to be him moving from team to team. If he moves to another team, right now it's been 2, right? He was in Cleveland, went to Miami, back to Cleveland. You know what? I think that's fine for his legacy. If he moves to another team, especially moves to another team that is contending for a championship, in some ways it may hurt his legacy, in my opinion. I don't know. So I think all of that is going to weigh on him. In the end, I do think he's going to stay. I think he's going to stay in the end. I think it's going to weigh on him a little bit, but I think he's going to stay. I think he's going to re-up for 2 years, or re-up for a year with an opt-out clause after 1 year. That seems to be his MO. And then after that 2 years is up, his next deal is going to be a long deal, in my opinion, because he's smart. Right now, he knows he has leverage. He's proven it in these finals. He's still the best player in the league and will be for the next 2 to 3 years. Hands down. So it's going to be easy for him to demand or to say, you give me a big contract for a year, I'll have an opt-out on another year. And then after that year, I don't think he'll opt out. He'll probably, depending on how he plays, maybe he opts in or he gets an extension, and his extension then is a longer extension because he knows he'll be now on the downside of his career. He'll still have enough power to demand a large contract. And then he'll take a larger contract towards the downside of his career or something like that. So that's what I think will go on with LeBron. I think he'll end up staying in Cleveland because just because of his impact on the region. I think that's a big part of it. And then, they got a high draft pick. They got a top 10 draft pick. So they're going to be able to get somebody that can maybe help them out in a year or two. Or they'll be able to make moves to bring somebody in. So I think he's going to be there. You know what I mean? I think he's going to be there. But enough about LeBron. You know what I mean? And I seen more stuff today about LeBron and the Knicks. I'm not even going to jump into that realm. I don't want to do it. Stay away from it. It's not where we want to be. That's not going to be. I'm not even going to talk about it. Let's move on. Let's talk about Mikal Bridges and the New York Knicks and the guys that may possibly work out for the New York Knicks or have already worked out. And I'm sure there are more. Pretty positive there are more. Don't have everyone. I did see a nice list of New York City guys. I think I seen it from Knicks Film School. New York City guys that have worked out or will work out for the New York Knicks. You know what I'm saying? But here are some guys that will work out for the Knicks. And I want to talk about each one of these guys. Take a look at them. All right, so that'll take up a good portion of our podcast tonight. But I got my man Tony Crow on the line. Tony, what's popping, my brother? What's popping with you, man?
Ain't nothing, man. Just wanted to call in early. I gotta go to bed. Gotta work.
I'm with it. Okay.
But yeah, it's looking like it's over for the Cavs, man.
Yeah, it's over. It's done. You know what I'm saying? I think it's done. And then it's on to what LeBron's gonna do. It's on to LeBron.
Yeah, I don't want to harp on him too much. I honestly think if he leaves, I honestly think he'll end up in Philly, and try to mentor Ben. But other than that, I don't see him really going anywhere else. Okay. I think that's the only place that could possibly entice him.
Yeah. What about Houston? What about Houston? If they can make some moves, what about Houston? Because Houston is good at finding a way. All these teams, man, got these capologists and GMs that find a way to open up money. They find a way to do it.
It's gonna be tough,
right? I think part of it is, listen, these guys are good, and I think part of what they do, and we don't see it from the outside, but when they're planning, they did whatever they needed to do to get Chris Paul. They were trying to find a way to get Carmelo Anthony. I think they plan, right? They plan, and they know, my bad, but they know they have an idea of things they can do years down the line to free up money. Of course, that's a smart way to do it. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you.
So I think they probably had ideas set for this summer on ways that they could free up money.
I just think that's gonna depend on what the sacrifice is, because they're gonna have to sacrifice somebody, or
Right.
somebody's gonna have to sacrifice some kind of money for it to happen, and that's less of a guarantee still, because they still in the West and they still got to go against this monster of OKC.
Yeah.
I think championships is his main motivation, and he has at least a short shot chance of going to the finals.
Yeah.
Staying in the East, or staying in the East and going with a stronger team.
That's true. That's true. He goes, he teams up with Philadelphia. He's got a good chance of being in the finals again.
And I see, if he does that, I see him doing that same 2-year deal you was just mentioning with Cleveland, except with Philly.
Yeah. So what do you think about? What do you think about the guys that the Knicks?
What we talking about
looking
tonight?
to work out in the future, right? So we got Mikal Bridges, and we'll take a look at each one of these guys as we go through. We got Mikal Bridges, Robert Williams, Kevin Knox, Lonnie Walker. Talked about him. Kareem Cantor, right? And that's Cantor's little brother.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Simmons, Amadou Diallo, Amir Bell. I think Amir Bell and Jeffrey Carroll already worked out. I think they already worked out.
I think the theme of this whole offseason, as far as the Knicks, has been doing their due diligence.
Right.
They looking over rocks, under rocks, and you know what I mean. They looking everywhere.
Yeah. They're doing. You're right. They're doing their due diligence, big time. You know what I'm saying? And you got to. If you're devoid of talent, you got to find talent any place you can. The only smart thing to do is to do your due diligence, right? I think that's the only smart thing to do. Is to look any place you can to find talent in any possible areas. If you don't, then I'm gonna say you're not doing your job if that's not what you're doing.
I think the Knicks are definitely going to be buyers this draft. I think if somebody's selling, I think they're gonna again do their due diligence. I think they're gonna look at every possible option out there, as far as they're looking at so many people. They have to be looking at acquisitions as far as draft picks,
right?
Or at least signing a good amount of people undrafted. Because a few of these guys are definitely not projected to be drafted at all.
Right. So let's talk about Mikal Bridges. Right, Mikal Bridges. 6'7" junior, 210 pounds. We all know, right? Malvern, Pennsylvania. I got NBADraft.net up on the screen right now. Athleticism, they got him at an 8. Size at a 9. Defense at a 9, which we like. Strength, quickness, leadership at a 7. Jump shot, NBA ready at a 9. Ball handling, potential, were both at 7s. His passing is at a 6, and his intangibles is at a 9. I think right here, what would scare people about Bridges is that his potential is at 7, and this has been discussed and debated for a while, right? Is he going to develop into an all-star? Do you take someone that's going to be NBA ready right now, but is closer to his ceiling, or do you take somebody who may not be NBA ready, but the ceiling is much higher? Now, but we all know his floor may be higher than some of the other talent, right? Because you say, you know what, he's only going to go so low, but he's only going to go so high. Then there's some guys who they may not reach his floor, like their floor may be very low, but their high may be much higher than his, and that's where the dilemma comes in with Bridges, I think.
I agree with you.
Mikal Bridges.
And what I want to know is, I want to speak to some of these people who these professional analysts who determine what a guy's ceiling is, because a guy like Mikal is, for me, I feel like they're taking away from him improving every year.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what you're supposed to look for. That's why I like him a little bit more than Miles, because Miles didn't necessarily improve. He was just as good his rookie year. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
I guess the question
I would question Miles' ceiling more than Mikal's, because Mikal keeps showing improvement.
Right. I guess the question is there a certain age when your development is just not going to, you're really not going to develop too much more, right? And if you're closer to that age, then that might be what scares people away. So let's just speak hypothetically. Let's say at 25, that's the age in which a player really stops developing. We're just speaking hypothetically here. That's when they stop developing, right? Now they may, they still get better, but the increments in which they get better will be smaller, right? Their IQ will get better. They'll have more NBA experience. So athletically, they're maybe not going to get much more stronger, or maybe not going to get any more, faster. Not going to be able to jump too much higher. And if they do, it's going to be in smaller increments. Well, when you have someone, and so let's say that age is 25. And then you have a player like Mikal, who's 22 years old. Going to be 22 in August. August 30th, he'll be 22, right? And he's averaging 17 points per game in college. You got another player who's, 19 years old, averaging 17 points per game. Same stats, statistically the same. And basically playing at the same level of school, let's just say. Right? I guess they would think that person that's 22 years old is closer to 25, closer to that point where they're no longer going to develop. And they're doing the same things as a person who's 19 and still has 6 years to develop till they reach that age limit of 25. Now, there are certain things that aren't accounted for: work ethic, heart, basketball IQ. Some of those things just aren't accounted for.
Well,
too.
Sim,
you know what I
mean? My main thing is, specifically talking about, excuse me, Mikal and Miles is Miles doesn't. Mikal doesn't rely on his athleticism,
right?
You know what I mean? So the things that make him such a good player, he's going to be able to do that throughout his career.
Okay.
That's just my thoughts on Mikal specifically. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I like him a lot. Knox is still my guy, because I think he still has the most upside of, almost anybody in the draft, and he's young still, and a lot of his faults I attribute to his age and not necessarily his motor.
Right.
But who else we talking about real quick?
We also have up here Robert Williams, I think from Texas A&M.
That's the big guy, right?
Let's pull him up. Let's pull him up and look at him really quick.
I like him too. He's in that boat with as Carter for me, and I wouldn't be mad at him either.
Is he a 9th pick?
Potential wise, it depends on who's on the board. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't be upset. I think he's less of a reach than some of the guards we were looking at.
So Robert Williams, 6'9", sophomore from Texas A&M, 240 pounds. NBA Draft.net has him rated 92 overall, athleticism 9, size 9, defense 9, strength 8, quickness 9, leadership is a 6, jump shot 6, NBA ready 6. Rebounding and potential are both 9s. Post skills and intangibles are 6. So you're really drafting on potential. Mock drafts have him going around 14 right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're probably drafting on potential with him.
Yeah, how old is he?
He is, let's see, he's a sophomore. He was born, I think he was born October 17th, 1997. So that means he's going to be what? He'll be 20. He'll be, what's he going to be, 20 in October? Something like that. Math skills not working too good today, but something like that. All right, so that's another 6'9" actual power forward / center.
Yeah.
Right? Do we need a power forward if we're planning for KP to be our power forward? And if you're looking at him for center, is he kind of small to be a center?
The interesting thing is, I think the small forward class next year is a lot stronger, where they might potentially want to go big right now. The only down thing with that is we still don't know what our bigs are doing.
Right.
So it's.
I mean, looking at him, he looks, he's kind of long. Even though he's 6'9", kind of long.
I think they was calling him like a baby Capella.
Kind of long. He's a straight up center power forward of the old school brand, right? Doesn't look like he's going to be a wing player type of guy.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? Athletic, get up and down the floor. Looks like he can jump out the gym. You know what I mean?
And that's the only reason why I wouldn't be mad at him, because he does have the skill sets of a Capella.
Right.
I think he averaged close to 3 blocks, right?
Didn't even look at his averages. I'll check out his averages. But the kid looks like, he's definitely an athlete. For sure, he's an athlete. He averaged 10.4 points per game, 9.2 rebounds per game, 1.4 assists per game. This is 2017-2018 season. He averaged 2.6 blocks.
2.5 blocks a game.
Yep, 2.5 blocks a game.
But that's the reason why I wouldn't be mad, because I know his skill set. I know what he's gonna do. I know he's raw. We wouldn't be looking for him, too much to create any offense. It's basically lobs and offensive rebounds and offensive putbacks.
Right.
And his defense.
Right.
So, knowing what we're doing it for, I wouldn't be too upset.
Yeah.
Because he fills a skill set that we don't have down low.
Yeah. It's interesting to see what they're looking at. It's always interesting to see who they're looking at. They're obviously, to me, it does look like they're just looking at options for to collect talent. You know what I mean? To collect talent. And I see a couple of questions that I'm going to get to in a little bit later on. Big shout out to Siobhan Robinson for the super chat. He said the Knicks are in the talent acquisition phase, and Mikal, in terms of star potential, is low. That's why they are in love with Young and Michael Porter Jr. Yeah. I feel you there. I feel you there. That you know, but I think you got to account for what Mikal. I think you got to account for the intangibles. I think you do have to
Absolutely.
account for that. The work ethic, the intangibles, the championship pedigree. I think those are things you got to
Absolutely.
account for. You know what I mean?
Young is growing on me though. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, he scares me at the same time. But I'm always the optimistic Knicks fan. So, and like I said before, no matter what, you can't take away his assists. You know what I mean? So he's not just a chucker. No matter what nobody else, anybody says, he led the NCAA in assists and points. So
yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I feel what you're saying. And I just
it's just scary.
It is scary, and the fact that we have so many guards already, it's hey, if they're in the talent acquisition phase and they believe that he is the best talent that's available to him, I get it. I understand it. You know what I mean? I get it and I understand it.
But
yeah,
he doesn't fit the defense.
Right. But that's not to say that he can't. That's not to say that he can't develop it.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
He's
Not
gonna.
To say that
You
he
know
can't
what he's
develop
gonna have to do, and he's gonna have to be tireless, like, because he's gonna have to pick up full court,
right,
and just be a pest,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's gonna be his best bet.
Yeah.
Try to be a JJ Barrera, you know what I mean, like a little fly.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, I'm assuming that he put on 13 pounds, lost some body fat so that he can play defense. Hopefully his people are looking at his scouting report and they say, okay, defensively is where you need to work. Defensively is where we're going to do it. The issue is some people, it doesn't matter. If you don't have the physical tools or it's just not in you, then you're not gonna play defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, but hey,
son, I'm gonna let some other callers go.
Yeah. I know you got to get up early and get to work, so
like it's time.
Let you do that there. All
Keep
right,
doing
man.
your thing, Sam. Catch you Friday night.
Appreciate it, bro.
One.
Peace. Yeah, I see somebody say, thank you for checking in on the chat. Yeah, I got to do a better job keeping an eye on the chat. Got a million things going on, so I can't always look at it, but I'm going to make sure I do a better job checking in on the chat. Someone asked me about moving up for Luka. I don't think it's going to be that easy for us to move up for Luka because we don't have, I don't think we have enough assets to move up for Luka, in my opinion. I don't think that we have, we have enough assets. I don't know. We don't have enough young, coveted players to move up for Luka, in my opinion. And then players, if we do have some that are coveted, we probably want to keep them, because we don't want to just trade out players to get Luka or whoever, and then now we'll weaken some other area. We want to try to build on the talent that we already have. We want to try to build on that talent, grow that talent, so that we have a young team to grow together. So I don't think that they're going to be able to move up that high. If he's going to go that high. You know what I mean? I just don't. I think that, do I think that they're going to try to move up? They might. I'm sure they're listening and talking to everyone and thinking about trying to find different ways to maneuver within this draft. So I'm pretty sure that they are discussing it, talking about it, and maybe they will get the chance to move up and make a move. I'm sure. I guess if there's somebody that they really, really, really covet, then maybe they can try to, I don't know, maybe they try to take on longer contracts or something crazy like that. But if they covered them, then some of them teams that's up there probably covered them as well. It's not going to be that easy to just move up in the draft, I don't think. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that it's going to be that easy to just move up. So who else we got on tap here? Kevin Knox. Of course, a lot of people like Kevin Knox. We've continuously heard about Kevin Knox. The upside is definitely there. Right? The upside for Kevin Knox is, he's long, he's lanky. He's well, let's take a look at him. He's long and he's lanky. And while I'm pulling this up, let me respond to a question I've seen about Mikal Bridges. Has Mikal Bridges been injury prone? Not that I know of. That does mean a lot. You know what I mean? Injury prone players hurt you all of the time. And he has not been injury prone as far as I know. And I did see Siobhan. You said intangibles don't lead to a player being an all-star. Not intangibles alone, but if you couple those intangibles with talent, then it can, and it does. Look at someone like Draymond Green. Draymond Green is not the most talented player, but he has a lot of intangibles. A lot of hustle. He's not afraid to hit big shots. He sets, good screens. He makes the right pass in the right play. Some of those things that he does. Now, am I saying that he's going to be Draymond Green? I'm not saying he's going to be Draymond Green, but I'm just saying it can lead to a player being an all-star depending on their work ethic. Now, obviously, you've got to have some talent to go with it, though, right? I feel you on that, Siobhan. You can have mad intangibles, and if you have no talent, then you're probably not going to be an all-star. You can have crazy talent, not many intangibles, and you may still be an all-star. So I get what you're saying right there. I definitely understand what you mean. So you need to have talent. You got to have talent. And I know, if we're in that talent acquisition phase, then maybe we need to just go and grab whatever talent that we think is going to be available to us. All right, so let's bring this up about Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox, NBADraft.net. 6'9", freshman, played for Kentucky. Right? Athleticism, 9. Size, 9. Defense, 8. Strength, 8. Quickness and leadership, 7s. Jump shot, A. Is he NBA ready? That's a 7. Rebounding, 8. Potential, 9. And clearly with Kevin Knox, you're going to be drafting on potential. And we know what, you know how John Calipari thinks about Kevin Knox. Right? Post skills, 7. Intangibles, 7. Rated 94 overall. NBA comparisons to Tobias Harris or / Paul George. All right. Last year, Kevin Knox averaged 15.6 points per game, 5 rebounds, 1.4 assists. And this is, of course, in college. Shot 45% from the field, 34% from 3. talented guy. Talented guy, very long, very lanky. The kind of guy that I've said it over and over again. The kind of guy, the size, the length, it's the kind of guy that I want on the Knicks. Right? I want to pull in that kind of a wing player. And what John Calipari said, I just seen someone ask in the chat, Imbert the Great, he said, what did Calipari say about Knox? He basically talked about how he's the kind of guy that he may not have that big impact in his first year. You're going to need to wait 2 or 3 years down the line. Right? So he was saying a guy like Mikal Bridges is better than him right now, for sure. But 3 years down the line, who's going to be the better player? Basically, Coach Cal said it's going to be Kevin Knox, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So, I don't know. Maybe Coach Cal is right. And so of course, if you're going to draft Kevin Knox, you're going to be drafting on potential. And by the way, I don't think there's anything wrong with drafting on potential. Nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I mean, with most of these guys, if guys are freshmen, you're drafting on potential. There's not going to be that many. Every once in a while, you're going to get some, but there's not going to be that many freshmen that come into the league ready to go right off the jump. You know what I'm saying? You're drafting on potential, and that these guys are going to be able to develop the right way and become everything that you expect them to be, which is the reason why you're scouting. And when I'm saying scouting, I don't mean just can these guys play basketball, but scouting their character, right? Their work ethic, scouting those type of things. And as we mentioned before, do they understand at a young age the small nuances of the game? But you can see Kevin Knox here. He's long, he's lanky, he's athletic. He's got good footwork, which for me is very, very important. You've got to have good footwork if you're going to be successful in the NBA. If you have good, fluent footwork, I think you can go a long way in the league. I haven't seen enough of him to know if he really has those small nuances of the game. I didn't, spend a whole lot of time watching every single guy in the NCAA play. But does he have the small nuances? Just understand small things. Backdoor cutting, which you just seen, he made a nice backdoor cut. Screening on and off the ball, making the right pass, making the right play, understanding how to have your footwork in certain positions on defense. Just little things like that. Little nuances of the game that if you grasp as a young player, I think you have a very good chance to make it in the league or make it to the next level from wherever you're playing right now. You know what I mean? Yeah, so listen, he looks talented. His footwork, like Justin Remedy is agreeing with me about footwork. His footwork looks very good. And that means a whole lot to me when I see a player's footwork be so good. Good footwork means a lot. So basically Coach Cal was, comparing it to and saying that Kevin Knox is going to be the better player later on. You know what I mean? Mighty Knicks, you say you want a two-way player. Is Kevin Knox going to be a two-way player? I'm not saying that he will not be or cannot be. As a matter of fact, his defense is rated 8, so possibly he can come in and be a two-way player. You know, because I agree with you, Marty. I want to be a strong defensive team as well. You know, just remember that you say Kevin Knox has good off-the-ball movement. That's important. I think that's very important to me. You got to be able to move off the ball, backdoor cuts. You know, cut if you don't have the ball, you're not just standing, bouncing, waiting for the ball. You cut, you screen off the ball. You know how to curl off of screens. All those little things. You know how to come off tight off of screens. All those little things mean a whole lot. And if you're drafting on potential, that a player has talent potential, I think those are some of the things you look at. Do they understand how to do some of those things? You know what I mean? Do they understand how to do those things? And if they understand how to do those things, that's obviously a positive when it comes time for them being drafted. Listen, there's going to be some talented guys going pretty deep into the draft, I think. You know, and it's not going to be an easy decision for any GM, president, coach who are looking at these guys to draft. You know what I mean? It's not going to be easy for any of them because there's a lot of talent. Famous, you said Knox has the physical tools, but he's awful defensively. Will he always be awful defensively? Is the question that they probably will be asking in the war room. You know what I mean? That'll be the question. And like you say, Famous, maybe Fizz can turn his defense around. That's going to be the question. I mean, that's going to be the question. Who else we have on the list? Lonnie Walker. We did a whole segment on Lonnie Walker from Miami. And the kid looks talented as talented as hell. And he really, really does intrigue me. You know what I'm saying? Lonnie Walker intrigues me a lot. But we have a lot of guards still. You know, and he's flying up the draft boards. You know, and if you haven't been able to learn a little bit about Lonnie Walker, take a look at the video couple shows ago. You can go look at the replay of the show, and there's some information in there about Lonnie Walker. You know, take a look at it. But the kid is uber talented. You know, and last year, he started off on the bench last year for Miami. Part of the reason is because he had a knee injury, right? So he started the season on the bench. And then Bruce Bowen for Miami got hurt. And when Bruce Bowen got hurt, it was time for Lonnie Walker to step up. And when he stepped in, kids started hooping. You know, and listen, it wasn't like he was going to when he hurt his knee. He was already a high prospect. And his knee injury took him back a notch. Now he's out to prove that he's still the player that was projected to be such a high player in college. You know, and he looks good. He's talented. I got to give it to him. He's talented. And I think maybe that injury and the fact that he was set back humbled him just a bit, just enough, so that he brings the right attitude into the NBA. Because he went from one level to the next and had to sit the bench. Right? Had to sit the bench because of an injury. Now he's on his way to the next level. And listen, when you have an injury or you have something like that, it'll shake you a little bit. And it'll make you say, hey, I better take this serious. You know what I mean? Better take this serious. The Public Enemy, and I seen someone else ask me what I think about Anthony Simmons, and we're gonna get to him. He's on the list. We're gonna talk about him. But he does intrigue me, and he's moving up the draft boards. You know, he's catching momentum. At least he was. You know, will he crack the top 10? Maybe. Maybe. You know, take a look at Lonnie Walker. He's a shooting guard. Do the Knicks need a shooting guard? Probably not. 6'5", 195 from Reading, Pennsylvania. It's a tough town. His athleticism is at an 8. Size, 8. Defense, 7. Strength, 8. Quickness, leadership, jump shot, all rated 8. NBA ready, 7. Ball handling, 8. Potential, 8. Passing, 7. Intangibles, 8. Overall, he's rated a 93. The kid has a lot of room to grow. A lot of room to grow. You know what I mean? But but the potential is definitely there. The potential is there for him. If you look at his stats for last year, it says 11.5 points per game. But, you know, that's kind of skewed. Now, you know, I am concerned here, 41% field goal percentage. He's the kind of guy that I think needs to have the ball in his hands in order to create. That concerns me about him. You know, he's the kind of guy that needs to be a high usage guy. So that will always concern me. You know what I mean? That will always concern me, because then I'm concerned that the guy can move off the ball. 3-point percentage from college, shot 34%. I did see something somewhere where I read that he also, from NBA range in college, from NBA range, he shot 35% from NBA range. You know, so the kid can shoot. I will say that. You know, he can definitely knock it down, and, you know, to play the type of ball that we say we want to play, we're going to need 3-point shooters. You want to have that, you want to play that pace and space type of game, you need 3-point shooters. You know, and Lonnie Walker, he's a 3-and-D wing in the NBA right now. Coming in as a rookie, he'd be a 3-and-D wing. But he could, because of his ability, he can end up being more than just a 3-and-D wing. You know what I mean? I'm impressed with him. And I think somebody in the late rounds going to get a good player. You know, going to get somebody that can excite the crowd, bring energy, shoot the ball. You know, somebody there is going to get one of those type of players. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think he's going to crack the top 10. I do think that he'll probably go somewhere between 10 and 20, maybe something like that. You know what I mean? But, you know, I think someone's going to get a player that in a few years is going to be really, really good. And they're going to be able to use him to be 3-and-D to get to the basket. You can see he's going to be able to catch oops. You know, he's going to be, you know, just a guy kind of like Tony Williams was for us. Troy Williams was for us when he came in. You know, he brought a lot of electricity and a lot of energy. He wasn't, you know, wasn't creating his own shot. But you know, he was able to catch oops. He was able to catch some dunks. He would bring some excitement and some energy. And I think that's what Lonnie Walker will bring to a team. And we probably want a little bit more than that, right? We probably want a little bit more than that, than someone who's just going to bring that kind of energy in the 3-and-D, though. You know, but we'll see. You know, we'll see how it is. The Knicks are going to work him out. You know, I'm sure they are interested in him, so they're gonna work him out, see what he got. Next on the list, Kareem Cantor, and that's Cantor's brother. How ironic would it be if Cantor opted out and then we drafted his brother, even if it was in the second round? Be ironic. Opening up the lines, call me, give me a call. Give me a call. Let's talk a little bit about some of these guys and what you think about them. All right, let's talk about them. Give me a call if you're free. And I thank you guys for staying up with me, listening to the show, watching the show. I appreciate it, as always and as usual. All right, but give me a call. Let's talk a little bit. Let's check out Kareem Cantor. You know, he's not going to be Inez. You know, he's not going to be Inez. He most likely is, listen, he's going to have a different perspective on things because, he grew up here in the States. You know what I mean? So he's going to have a different perspective on things. You know, I think he did. Maybe not. I'm gonna confirm that though. The Prince, what's popping, bro? How you feeling?
What's up, Sam? Just wanted to holler at you, man. I see we got a couple of the prospects up there. I think that, a lot of people is really like skeptical about why the Knicks ain't been putting a lot of information out there, but I'm kind of happy. I mean, you don't want to show your hand too early to tip people, because just like how Boston played, Philly last year. You don't want to tell people too much and get them thinking like, yeah, we want Knox or we want Mikal, and then they already know, okay, well, we don't want to trade with y'all. We know who you want, so they may try to play, ransom, with one of our picks. So you want to, kind of keep it quiet. So I'm kind of happy that they keeping stuff, just keeping it to the books and, doing their due diligence.
Yeah, I hear you. No, it's smart not to especially during draft time. You don't want to let out too much information. You know what I'm saying? Because you let out too information about what you may do or whatever it is, then you may tip somebody off to draft someone because they know you like them, so that they can try to broker a trade with you and get some of your assets or anything like that. So yeah, it's smart to be quiet. Smart to be quiet.
I like it. I think, like I said, I think Perry and them, they open to, I think everything. Like they said, that talent acquisition, I think that truly may mean that we are going to probably move back and try to pick up 2-3 draft picks in the first round. That'd be awesome. One thing I wanted to ask you, Sim, I see you got those guys up there, but did you, a big fella who was supposed to work out for us, Tyler Davis, from Texas A&M?
Yeah,
did you hear about him?
I think he did not work out because of an injury.
Yeah, he got hurt. Like I didn't hear when or how he got hurt, but I watched some film on him, and I'm like, man, he could develop for us. Like, I don't know if he'll be either a second round pick or maybe a free agent draft pick that we pick up after the draft. But I like that he's tangible. He looks like a prototypical 5 that can play inside and can play outside also for us.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. You know what? I probably read it in the same place that you read it. So right. I don't know the extent of the injury.
That sucked. Sure. I was hoping he could really work out for us. Maybe I hope he did still impress the the Knicks brass up in the front office. But again, like I said, the kid looked really good. That sucked that he got hurt, man. But definitely, I'm riding with the rest of the guys with Knox. You know what I'm saying? So okay. I'm looking forward to his see what they say about him. Because like you said, they Scott Perry and them, they don't tip their hand much. But I do want to hear what they say about each prospect as far as like the adjectives and the verbs they use about these kids. About, okay, like, is he energetic? Or like they said about Trey, they was like, yeah, we really like him. But honestly, we know we don't really have no chance. He's probably not going to fall to us. Right. So, things like that kind of, you already kind of know where their mind at with that. But like you said, with these wings and like Lonnie Walker and Mikal and Knox, because I think Knox comes in this weekend, and you said Mikal works out.
I think no, Mikal works out tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay, that's
Yeah,
even.
Mikal Bridges
That's
works out
dope. We have to
tomorrow.
hear about him tomorrow. And I heard they're supposed to be releasing Michael Porter Jr.'s his medical reports tomorrow. So I think before we even see him come to New York, we'll know about his back and that whole situation before he even gets to town.
Okay. So let me ask you this. I don't know how much you know about Kareem Cantor. He's the next guy on the list.
Isn't he undersized? That's what I wanted to know.
He's a 6'10" center.
Okay. Oh, is he 6'10"? Okay, yeah, wow. When I see a picture of him and Ennis together, I was looking at him and he looked a little smaller. I thought he was around like 6'8", 6'9", but yeah, I'm pretty sure he probably is, and they probably put him at 6'10" or something. You know how they do the start sheet.
Right. Now, is he getting the look just because he's Cantor's brother? Is that the reason why he's getting the look? You know, relationships go a long way sometimes.
Right. I think so. It's just like you said. It's just no. You know, he's right in that East Coast market. You know, I'm pretty sure whoever's the East Coast scouting director, they probably was like, hey, let's bring him in and check him out. Maybe you know, a development player. Yeah. We can put him on the D-League.
I mean, he's a straight up post guy. You know, he's a post player. Probably not as strong and powerful as Cantor, but, you know, Cantor's a talented guy, and you probably figure, well, you know what? He just took him off the dribble, made a nice move. So, hey, you never know. You never know.
Yeah, and that's the thing about those little brothers. You know, those little brothers, they've been around the NBA. They've been around NBA guys. They've got that little bit of toolage from their big brothers. So they understand the NBA. So, you know, like you said, even if not, it's that NBA pedigree where it's like, hey, we don't want to not give this guy an opportunity to come work out for us. And he's pretty decent, you know.
Right,
I mean,
right.
Ennis can play pretty good. You know, he's decent.
Yep. And this could play pretty good, just not that great of a defender. But if this guy, you never know. You know, he played, you know, a little bit of a different route than Cantor, which is good, right? Cantor wasn't able to play in the States because I forgot what it was, but he wasn't able to play college ball.
It was basically whatever, that international rules when he got to Kentucky. It was basically, you know, something with the Turkish government, obviously the same situation like as is going right now. I think they wanted money for him or something, you know, and it was obviously, you know, NCAA having that.
And so, you know, he ended up, I mean, he was basically drafted. You know, he's basically drafted off a potential loan, Cantor. Now, his brother went to IMG Academy, you know, which is basically a basketball type of school, and then on to Xavier. You know, so he has much more experience with the NBA game and probably, you know, more, just more Americanized than when Inez came in. So we'll see what that's like, you know. And listen, if he did get a workout just because he's Cantor's brother, so what? I don't care about that.
Let's let it happen. Let's see what it is.
See what it is. Hey, the Prince, thank you for the call, man. Appreciate the call.
Man, always. And like I said, man, I can't wait till, like you said, after this draft, because how long is it before summer ball starts?
After the draft, summer league starts usually a couple weeks after the draft.
Man, I can't wait. Like I said, usually I be getting ready for fantasy football and, you know, football season. But like this year, I'm so, you know, just waiting on the Knicks and looking forward to see how we looking, you know, seeing training camp and everything like that. But yeah, shout out to chat, man. Kevin Knox for, 11 pick, Sexton 12 pick.
Okay. You know all right.
And you keep doing your thing, man.
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, another caller. Quindell Berry. What's popping, man?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. Shout out to the chat, man. Listen, I think we're in a good spot, the Knicks, you know? I'm really happy with, some of the prospects that we could potentially get. And I think that we'll probably get one of 5 players. You know, either Michael Porter Jr., Trae Young, Colin Sexton, Wendell Carter Jr. or Mikal Bridges. And I'm happy with either of those players. But where did you find Isaac Mong? What's his name? Isaac Monga.
Isaac Bonga?
Yeah, where did you find this guy from? Were you like keeping an eye on this guy, or someone told you about him?
Somebody tipped me off about him, and then I just went and looked it up and did some research, and I was like, whoa, you know what? This is a guy. If you get him in the second round, this is a guy that could possibly, who knows, develop into something. Now he's rated to probably go late first round. So will the Knicks get him in at 36? Probably not. Probably not. So if the Knicks can find a way maybe to get into the late first round, around 30, 28, 29, 30, maybe that's a guy that they could pull off. 6'10", point guard. And he's a legitimate point guard.
Yeah. And the way he moves with the rock, he reminds me of Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
The way he's moving with the ball. I mean, his shot, I don't know if his shot is quite as there as Kevin Durant's is, of course, but he could develop that shot, of course. I mean, how old is he? Is he 18?
I think he's 18 years old right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
We got to get this guy. And what about Denver's that 14th pick? How can we get that?
I don't think it's going to be possible for the Knicks to get it unless Enes Kanter decides that he's going to opt out. Yeah. That's the only thing that that's the only way that I think that they're going to be able to get that 14th pick. And I think if Kanter does opt out, the Knicks, I believe, will have the best shot to get the 14th pick, and here's why. Because if Kanter opts out, that's $18 million that they free up. Right now, Kenny Fareed makes, I think it's $13 million, $14 million a year, somewhere around there, right? You trade Enes Kanter for Kenny Fareed, and then they throw in another player to make the salaries match. Now, instead of freeing up just Kenny Fareed's salary, they've actually freed up $18 million to do whatever ideas they had in their mind as to why they really need to get rid of Kenny Fareed this summer so they can free up that cap space. They have that money and more. You know what I mean? So that is a reason why I believe the Knicks would have a really good chance of getting that 14th pick if Kanter decide. But see, Kanter would have to decide right before July 1st that he's going to opt out. But before the draft, actually. He would have to decide before the draft that he's going to opt out. The Knicks know he's going to opt out. They trade him to Denver, get that 14th pick, bring back Kenny Fareed, and then whoever else to match the salaries. Kanter opts out for Denver July 1st. Denver has money to do whatever it is that they want to do with it.
Right. And what keeps these players from not opting out too early? Like what do you think is keeping him from not opting out opposed to July 1st?
Oh, well, probably so that he doesn't get, so that he can keep his options open, because I'm sure he knows that if he tells the Knicks that he's going to opt out now, then maybe they might decide to do something like trade him to get a draft pick, and then now he's in a situation. Well, if he's going to opt out, I guess it doesn't matter. But it does matter. It does matter because he'd be opting out not because he doesn't want to be with the Knicks. He'd be opting out in hopes that they extend him to a longer contract. So that contract may not be $18 million a year. That contract might be $10 or $12 million a year, but for 5 years, right? So he's trying to get a longer term contract to secure his future for a longer, for a longer time.
Right.
So that would be the dilemma for him, because if he said I'm gonna opt out now, and the Knicks are like, well, we're gonna trade you to Denver, and then now he's like, whoa, I don't want to re-up with Denver, something like that. So all those type of things go into it, and the reason why he probably won't opt out, and I don't think he's gonna opt out, is because $18 million is a big payday for him, in my opinion.
Right.
And I don't think he's going to pass up that $18 million because, if he plays this year, he makes $18 million, he's probably still going to get another deal next year that's $10 or $12 million a year.
Right. Definitely. Yeah. And yeah. I also like this kid that I think you talked about him too. What's his name? The guy that Chandler Hutchison. That guy is nice. He's he's also pretty smooth with the rock.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if we could steal him from Chicago, because Chicago, I think you said that they gave him a guarantee or something like that.
I think that was Portland.
Oh, it was Portland.
Portland. Yeah, Portland gave him.
Yeah.
Portland gave him a guarantee.
Okay. Yeah. So if we could steal him and get like an extra, my ideal would be to get 2 extra first round draft picks. But I don't think that's gonna happen. But
yeah, it's gonna be a tough one.
It's a pipe dream. Yeah,
that's a tough one right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely a tough one to get 2.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a tough one.
I think we could definitely get 1. But yeah, definitely. If we get a late first rounder, I think we should definitely go with Isaac Mongo. How you pronounce his name?
Isaac Mongo?
Isaac. Yeah, Isaac Mongo. Yeah. If we get a late first round draft pick.
Okay.
And I like this kid, Javon Carter, man. 2nd round. He's a bulldog.
Yeah.
On the defense. Have you checked him out?
Haven't checked him out. I'm gonna have to check him out.
He in the combine, he was posting some pretty good numbers. I think he had like a few steals, a couple of deflections, and he was scoring at a clip. You know?
Okay. Yeah, I'll check him out for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Quindell, man, thank you for the call. I know I got some other people that want to call in.
No problem, man. No problem, man. I'll talk to you next stream.
All right, man. Peace.
Later.
Yes, thank you for the calls, people. Thank you for the calls. Thank you for staying up with me. And let's go back and continue to talk about these draft guys. Anthony Simons. Let's talk about him a little bit. I don't know too much about him, so we're gonna go in and we're gonna pull him up and we're gonna, look at him a little bit and see what's what. But I do, while I'm pulling this up, just want to talk a little bit about the Knicks' possibilities to grab another first round pick. I think in this draft, because the draft is deep, it's not going to be that easy to grab another pick. There are a lot of people, there are a lot of teams in the NBA that are trying to retool, recharge, and have this. Listen, with what the Warriors are, a lot of teams are like, let's not try to go for it right now. You got 2 or 3 that's going to really try to go for it right now and knock them off. A lot of teams are like, let's retool and we'll try to build so that when they're on their downslide in the next 5 years, 3 to 5 years, we're ready. We're on a major upswing. So that makes the draft so much more valuable. You know what I mean? So I think there's going to be. It's going to be hard to just come by and pull off these, make trades for make trades for draft picks. You know what I mean? I just don't think it's going to be that easy to just jump out there and make a trade for a draft pick, unless you're really giving up some kind of giving up some talent or helping somebody free up cap space, somebody that really thinks that they have a shot. So I really don't think the Knicks are going to be able to do it. Maybe they try to find a way to move up. I'm not sure that that's going to happen either, because people are valuing these draft picks. So I don't know. It's just not something that I'm counting on right now. But let's go ahead and let's get to Anthony Simons. And I know I had it spelled wrong earlier, but I corrected it. Another guy who went to high school at the IMG Academy. All right, 6'3", point guard, shooting guard. Okay. Athleticism 8, size 7, defense 7, strength 7, quickness 8, leadership 7, jump shot ready 8, NBA ready 6. Ball handling 8, potential 8, passing 8, tangibles 8. Overall, he's rated at 90. Probably going to be, probably looking at him for those second round picks. You know what I mean? Mighty Nick says 6'3", pass. You don't want any guards. So you guys don't even want a guard if you're looking if we're looking in the second round. Listen, I'm with you. I'm definitely with you. I don't see the need right now for us to take any guards. So I'm definitely with you. But if they're really, really talented, it's somebody that you really might want to take a chance on. You got to take chances. You know what I mean? If you don't take chances, you're gonna find yourself in trouble. All right. So, what's the deal with? And maybe one of you guys know what's the deal with Anthony? Right, because he's a high school senior, IMG Academy. Let's see if we can find it. What's the story on him? The Knicks are going to host him. The Knicks are going to work him out. He's getting workouts around the league. Clearly he skipped college. I'm assuming he skipped college and went to IMG Prep. Still need to find out the whole story. Anybody got the whole story on the kid? If not, it's cool. We can find out, and maybe I do a separate video on the kid. But he seems to be talented. Obviously young. This is him at IMG Academy, right? And you guys should look up IMG Academy. There's a lot of these schools around, where it's just straight basketball, where they're college prep schools, and you can go there. You can go there for all 4 years of high school and take classes, and you get up 6 o'clock in the morning and you work out. You go through drills, you go through practices, and then you go to some classes, and then you eat lunch, and then you have workouts again in the afternoon, and then you go to some more classes, and then workouts in the mid-evening, and then eat dinner, and then do some more workouts or play games before you go to bed. It's a straight up academy. You know what I'm saying? For basketball. It's crazy. And so, like I was saying earlier, when I say these guys are groomed for this, nowadays differently than they were back in the day. They are groomed because there are schools for this. Full-on schools for this. But anyway, he's a young guard who skipped out on college. Now he's declared for the NBA draft. Maybe is he someone you take a draft, you take a chance on in the second round? 36 pick if he's there. You know, that's the way that you find talent in different areas. You know, that maybe other people aren't. You know, you gotta do it. Joko, you said Anthony is a total gamble. He's a D'Angelo Russell kind of player, but very, very raw. I get that. I understand it. And that's the reason why you get a guy like that in the second round, right? Instead of, you don't use your first round draft pick on him. Or if he's not drafted, and listen, somebody will probably take a chance on the kid, but if he's not drafted, then you pick him up off of, non-drafted rookies, right? But is he a real big chance at that 36 pick? Is it a big chance? I don't know too much about him. I don't know a whole lot about him. But he's 6'3", 6'4", guard, point guard / shooting guard. And, it could be the kind of kid who has the kind of story that, turns into a success. You want to take your chances on guys like that sometimes. Martin Mendoza, he said Anthony is more explosive than D'Angelo Russell. Okay. I'm going to keep my eyes out on this kid. I'm going to try to learn a little bit more about him. I'm going to do some research and try to learn a little bit more about him and his history. And, I'm just going to try to find out a little bit more about him. Looking at Wikipedia right now, it says, Simons first attended Edgewater High School in Orlando, Florida. During the junior year, he transferred to Montverde Academy. Then, because of its reclassification in the class of 2018, he attended the IMG Academy for a postgraduate year, although he had previously expressed interest in spending that year at West Oaks Academy in Orlando. During the summer of 2017, he played for the United States men's national under-19 basketball team. He's been rated as a 5-star recruit. He was ranked the 7th best player in his class in 2018 by 247 Sports. Originally, he planned to enter the University of Louisville, but as a result of the basketball sex scandal of 2015 at the university and his involvement in the 2017-2018 NCAA Division I men's basketball corruption scandal, he ultimately decommitted from Louisville, saying that he was most interested in the University of South Carolina, North Carolina State University, and the University of Tennessee, and the University of Florida. In January 2018, he then said that he was most likely going to bypass college and enter the 2018 draft, albeit without hiring an agent. In March, he confirmed his decision, later removed his name from the 2018 Nike Hoop Summit and the Jordan Brand Classic. Simons is one of 69 players invited to the 2000 NBA Draft Combine. So we'll see what's up with him. I'm gonna do some more research on him and see what's up with him. But maybe he's a guy that you take a chance on. Listen, so he clearly didn't get a chance to prove himself in college. And maybe if he went to college, maybe he'd be higher on the draft board. We don't know. So is it someone you take a chance on at 6? I don't know. We'll see. I guess it's going to depend on what his workout looks like when he actually works out for the Knicks. We'll see how that goes for Anthony. Anthony. Say that correctly. For Anthony. Amadou Diallo. I like saying his name for some reason. Just seems to flow off my tongue. You know what I mean? I like saying his name. Amadou Diallo is the next guy on the list. So let's take a look at Amadou Diallo. We've talked about him a little bit before. I think we looked at a couple of videos. I've seen a lot of people comment about him. I looked at him watched him at the combine a little bit. And listen, he may be there at a late round pick as well. He may be there at a late round pick. I know we do not want we don't want more guards. I understand that. But when do we, he's 6'5", 7-foot wingspan. Queens, New York native. Got to give the home guy a look, at least. You got to. Got to give the home guy a look. All right. It's blasphemous if you don't. Freshman shooting guard. 6'5", 195 pounds. From Queens, New York. Athleticism is a 9. Size is an 8. Defense is 7. And this is from NBADraft.net. Strength 8. Quickness 8. Leadership 8. Jump shot. NBA ready. Both are at 7. Ball handling is at 7. Potential is at 8. Passing is at 7. Intangibles are at 6. They have him going around 54 in their mock draft. Comparisons: Iman Shumpert, Archie Goodwin. Listen. You need guys that's going to be able to come off your bench. I don't know. Do you look at him at G League player? Daniel say G League player. Probably a G League player. You know what I mean? He has a nice name, though. And a nice name can get you far. Especially in a place like the NBA. It's funny. A nice name can, make people, you just sound good. And they just like saying your name. Just sounds good. And sometimes that can get you someplace. That's weird. But I understand. We don't, we got a glut at guard. And it's just not a position that we need. Unless the person that you're getting is overwhelmingly better than the people you have. I'm not saying Amadou Diallo is, or Anthony Simons, or even Trae Young. But I'm just saying, unless that guard is overwhelmingly better than the guards that you have, and you have a plan in place to move those guards, then there's no reason to take a guard. I'm with you 100% on that. I'm with you guys 100%. But the Knicks are looking at a lot of guards. That's my question overall. The Knicks are looking at a lot of guards. Looking at a lot of guards. What does that mean? What do they think about their guards? You know what I mean? They're taking a look at guards. Do they have confidence in their guards? Do they have confidence in Frank, Trey Burke? I'm not even going to say Moutier because I don't know if they're even looking at Moutier for the future. You know what I mean? Do they have confidence in the guards? That's a question, and I'm not sure if they do. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if they do have confidence in those guards. All right, and then bring this back up. Knicks have worked out Amir Bell and Jeffrey Carroll. They've worked those guys out already. And there's a slew of other guys. And, for the next show, I'll have some more guys that the Knicks either are going to work out in the future or have worked out. And we'll take a look at those guys, But for now, let's talk about Michael Porter Jr. And I think one of the callers touched on it earlier that Michael Porter Jr. He has yet to release his medical records. And listen, he may be using his medical records as leverage. Some teams he may decide to show his medical records to, and maybe others he won't. Teams that he's not really interested in going to, he may not show his medical records to. If I were in his situation, and if I was his people, I'd say, listen, do you want to go to New York? Are you interested in going to New York? Are you willing to go to New York if you fall there? And if he says no, then I say, nah, I'm not going to work out for you. I'm not going to show you my medical records. Or maybe I'll work out for you, but I'm not going to show you my medical records. Maybe I keep the door cracked a little bit. I don't know. Maybe he's going to use them. Maybe he's not. But he hasn't released them yet. But as one of the callers says, sounds like maybe he read it or heard it somewhere that Michael Porter Jr. will release those records tomorrow. I don't know. But he is going to have a pro day Friday. And the Knicks plan to be there. My question, is he going to work out for individual teams? I think he worked out in Chicago. Is he going to do an individual workout in New York? I think most players will do a workout in New York. You know what I mean? Listen, you'd be dumb not to. One, as soon as you decide to work out in New York, it's going to make the paper. It's going to be news. Put your name out there. Get your name out there. Kawhi Jennings, you say if MPJ leverages his way to New York. You think that's possible? I'm pretty sure players or agents, their agents do it all the time. They say, they tell people he doesn't want to be here. He doesn't want to be there. But then again, that also gives you a bad reputation. If you're a rookie, you haven't proved a damn thing in the NBA, and you're telling people where you will and won't play, that may not look good for you as, an NBA player or a potential NBA player or whatever it is. It doesn't look good for you. But I'm pretty positive that it gets done. I know it gets done. They tell people he doesn't want to be here, doesn't want to be there. They may draft you anyway, though. They might draft you anyway. But, is he doing that? I don't think so. I don't think so. He's not in any position to do that. Not with, his back issues. You know what I mean? He's not in position to do that. But I do think if he's going to do individual workouts, I think he will do one for the Knicks. He has the Chicago Bulls gave him a physical examination from their medical staff. So obviously they have high interest in the kid. And then hopefully, okay, so I'm looking at something right now. Okay, just what we were talking about. This is an SB Nation Sacktown Royalty blog, Sacramento Kings blog. Okay, I'll pull this over for you. It says, Michael Porter Jr. is being selective with his medical records. Porter's plan is simply unacceptable. I'm not sure who this person is, but let's just check it out, see what they're saying. The Sacramento Kings are reportedly quite high on Michael Porter Jr., the 6'11" wing from Missouri. This has been rumored around the web for a while now and has specifically stated by James Ham on the latest Kings Insider podcast. It's easy to understand why, blah, 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 blah. Okay, we don't need to know all that. Porter Sr., said his oldest son has not yet released his medical information to the NBA teams, but underwent a physical with the Chicago Bulls medical team last Thursday. He'll host a pro day this Friday in Chicago, of which the New York Knicks plan to attend. That's open to any team that's interested in watching him work. The following week, the teams drafting in the top 10 will have another day to see him up close and inspect the surgically repaired back. The Porters will share the Bulls' medical report with every other NBA team. The Bulls have the 7th pick, so we know that. All right, so it sounds like he's gonna do his pro day, and then the following week he'll work out teams that are in the top 10, which will be the Knicks. I'm pretty positive that the Knicks are gonna work him out. Hopefully he'll probably select which teams that he wants to share his medical records with, or maybe he'll share it with all of them. I don't know. Knicks fan TV say he just don't want to play for the bum ass Kings. You're probably right. You know what I mean? He's high profile. Maybe he wants a high profile spot. I wouldn't want to play for the Kings either. For real. I wouldn't want to play for the Kings. If I get drafted to them in 2K, I'm going to start over. You know what I mean? Till I get drafted to somebody else. Then trade my way to the Knicks. That's how I do all the time. Unless I haven't checked out this year's 2K, but unless this year's 2K, they kind of do it like they did before. I'm gonna check it out though. I'm gonna get the game. Just haven't done it yet. I'm gonna get the game. But yeah, you know what, Knicks fan TV, you said it seems like he's angling for the Bulls. Yeah, and it is curious to me why he underwent a physical by the Bulls, and then they will release those physical records to other NBA teams. That's curious to me, right? You said if he falls to us, is it caution or is it blessing? You know what? If he falls to us, I'm drafting him. If he falls to us, I'm drafting him. I'll find out if it's caution or blessing after I draft him. I'm gonna take my chance. Asim, what's popping, man?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm chilling.
I'm been listening about Michael Porter Jr. And I'm kind of concerned about his back. The fact that he hasn't released his records.
Still there? Still there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Doesn't the fact that he hasn't released his records bother you a little bit?
It does. But Dennis Smith Jr. did the same thing with the Knicks last year. I don't know if he released his medical records to the Mavs, but he was drafted still. So I don't know. Listen, if you get your medicals done and you know that something is wrong still, I wouldn't release mine either. Because somebody's still going to take a chance. Somebody's going to take a chance. You better believe that.
Because it just sounds like he's just worrying about his initial pay, his initial contract, and he's not worrying about it. I mean, do you think he's going to try to? I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to try to get better, but I have back issues because I was in the military, so I know like when you start to have some major back problems, that tends to stay with you your whole for the rest of your life.
Right.
I don't know, but we got new technologies these days, so maybe he's done something to get it fixed, but that's the only thing that really concerns me about him. But I think at this point in time with the Knicks and what we have on our roster, to be honest with you, any type of talent will be welcome and blessed, and it'll be welcome on the team.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, so Trae Young, if he's better at the point guard, that'll be great because he could team him up with Frank with his defense because Frank, I believe he's just a guard. Mm-hmm. For both positions. Wendell Carter Jr., he'll be great. You know, Michael Porter Jr., he'll be great as well. Pending his back issues, that really bothers me. Of course, Mikal Bridges. But the only thing about Mikal Bridges for me is I'm not too sure about his ceiling. That's the one thing that concerns me.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a great player, but I just wonder how much is he going to grow? How much more is he going to grow?
Right.
But, you know,
and that's the question about, we talked about that earlier in the stream. That's the question about Mikal Bridges.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, at this point in time, to be honest with you, we just need some, like they said, we just need some talent. And I don't see Trae Young falling down to us. I could potentially see us. I don't know. I doubt if Michael Porter Jr. falls down to us. I could really see us drafting Wendell Carter.
Okay.
I can't see. I don't know. It's just that we're just in a really. I don't. It's like a tough. I don't want to say a bad spot, but it's a tough spot. But at this point in time, we do need. We have a lot of positions we need to fill. So, but I just wanted to call and say what's up to the chat. And I wanted to apologize. I wanted to apologize about the thing I was discussing before, but I was just making a point that I didn't want the Knicks to make some bad like they did in the past.
Oh no, you good, man. It's all good.
But yeah, at this point in time, I just think we just need some talent, like they said. Actually, what I would like to see is if we could trade down, and if we could trade down, and I don't know if anybody gives us two of their draft picks, further down in the draft, but I think as much talent as we need, I think maybe we should explore maybe trade it down as well.
Yeah, maybe trading down to get 2 picks. I just don't know if maybe someone that, someone has late picks, 23, 24, and they covered that 9th pick, but I don't think, I know a lot of people talk about the Clippers having the 12th and 13th pick. I don't think they moved the 12th and 13th pick to try to get the 9th pick.
No, I think that's a really good spot for them right there. I don't think they try to move that up. I mean, they've got to get like they've got to get an extremely good offer to give up any of those picks, I believe. But
yeah.
I don't know. I just think maybe we should try to move down, even give up our 2nd round draft pick and see if we can get 2 of the 1st round draft picks. But at this point in time, we do need talent acquisition, and I'm not going to take too much more of your time up, but like I said, Michael Porter Jr. does kind of scare me with his back. I'm just not too sure because only reason I say that is because his explosiveness during the college tournament, I didn't really see it.
Yeah. He he wasn't that impressive. When he returned anyway. He had a few good games, but he wasn't that impressive anyway. You know what I mean? His individual workouts, he's going to do the pro day, did his individual workouts. It'll show a lot. Yeah. Teams are going to put him through. Listen, if I'm a team, I'm trying to put him through a rigorous workout.
I want to test his back.
Exactly. I'm going to test it. I'm putting him through a rigorous workout. And see how he holds up during that workout.
Yep, I want to see if he's going to start bending over, if he's going to be in some type of pain, this, that, and the other.
You see him grimace, you see him, walk gingerly, whatever it is. I'm putting him through a workout.
Because I can tell you right now, that back is not going to lie. When you in some extreme pain, your body's going to tell you to stop, and it's going to do it automatically. There's not much you can do about it.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Asim, man, thank you for the call.
Oh yeah,
I appreciate the call. Definitely appreciate the call.
Okay, well I'll call back later.
All right, for sure, man. We'll be on Friday night.
Oh yeah, I'll be back on.
Definitely.
All right, talk to you later. Peace.
Yeah, the whole thing with Michael Porter Jr. We'll see how it's gonna work out with his back. But if he's there at 9, I take him without a doubt. There's no doubt in my mind that if he's there at 9, I take him. You know what I mean? And see what's up with it. See what he can do. But I take the kid. A lot of talent there. So, you got to test those waters, I think. You got to test the waters and see if he's going to be able to hold up. And if he doesn't, you know what? The chips fell where they fell, and you got to move forward. You got to move on. But I'm going to try it. You know what I mean? That's that. That's that on Michael Porter Jr. Let's move on to Fizz and his staff, because he's building out his. Fizz is now building out his coaching staff. You know, currently, he's got assistant Keith Smart, Royal Ivory, hired Pat Sullivan, Joe Butchler, and possibly keeping Howard Isley. Is that a good, strong developmental staff? Because we need it. You know, he passed on Mike Woodson, chose to go the younger route. And honestly, I thought Mike Woodson was going to be part of the staff. But you know what? I understand. I guess maybe, I'm thinking that maybe they looked and said, listen, why Mike Woodson when we have a young crew? We got young kids. My answer to that question would have been, because Mike Woodson can help provide some discipline. Mike Woodson can help provide some of that father figure type, you know, some of that father figure stuff. That would have been my answer. You know what I mean? But they went with guys that Keith Smart's a little older, Royal Ivy's younger, right? You know, someone like Royal Ivy can relate to them. You know what I'm saying? Knicks fan TV, true. You got to pay Woodson a little bit more. That's true as well. That's true. I guess time will tell, and we'll see. You know, we'll see how this staff works out. I'm hoping that it's a staff that relates to the guys. I'm hoping that it is a staff that is going to be disciplined. It's going to be firm. It's going to teach these guys. I want dogs on the team. You know what I mean? I want dogs. I want our players to be hound dogs. I want them to hunt you down when you get on the court. You know, I want teams to know when they're playing the Knicks, they're gonna leave out of there with some bruises, with some bumps, with some scrapes, because we got hound dogs on the team. That's what I want. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. Pat Sullivan, kind of a younger type of guy. Right? A little bit younger. Not an old coach, a little bit younger. So he's finding guys that's going to be relatable. And I understand it. I get it. Not to say that Woodson wouldn't have been relatable, but it's finding guys that's going to be relatable. I'm just hoping that these guys can, like we're saying, turn these guys into bulldogs. Pat Sullivan has been with the Detroit Pistons, New Jersey Nets. He was under Larry Brown in 2004, 2005. Served as assistant coach / video coordinator during the 2003-2004 NBA championship season of the Detroit Pistons. A guy that, although he was, you know, an assistant coach, video coordinator, to be around a championship culture is important, right? Because you know, some of that bleeds into your blood, it bleeds into your skin through osmosis. You know what I mean? And you don't have a choice but for it to come out when you're coaching, because you breathe it, you take it in. That's what we need. We need some things like that. And it's good. So, you know, hopefully, you know, if he's going to add one more, if he's going to bring in Howard Isley, keep Howard Isley on. That's someone that he has complimented in the past. Maybe he keeps him. So, you know, we'll see how that goes. Sean Stewart, you say, who are the hound dogs in this draft? That's a good question. I don't know. But who am I rocking with? Who am I rocking with? It just depends on who's there, man. It depends on who's there. If Michael Porter Jr. is there, I'm taking him. If Trae Young is there, am I taking him? I don't know. Got to think about that some more because we got guards. We got guards. And mad guards. You know what I'm saying? Mad guards. We don't need them. In the second round, will I take a guard? Maybe. In the first round, I don't know, because we got mad guards. Mad guards. So it's definitely a wing that I'm taking. And it's going to be between MPJ if he's there, Mikal Bridges, Miles Bridges, Kevin Knox. It's going to be between those guys. I'm undecided. I really would like, I need to be, I can't see them on TV and actually understand if they're going 100%. You know what I mean? If they're going 100% or if they are not going 100%. It's hard to tell on TV. I coach basketball. You got to be able to see up front. You know what I mean? Up front and close, you got to be able to see it to understand and witness the intensity of it. To know who's that hound dog. Some people you can't see a hound dog. Frank is a hound dog. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get after you defensively. He's a hound dog. You know what I mean? Even my boy Troy Williams, he's a hound dog. He gets after it defensively, then he's active on the other side of the floor. That's a hound dog. He's all over the place. You know what I mean? But that's what I want. That's what I want this coaching team to develop. You know what I mean? That's what I want the coaching team to develop. Hound dogs. Guys that's going to get after you and bust your lip. You know, send you home with bruises so your wife is like, why are you bruised up? I mean, hound dogs. That's what we need. That's what we need out there. It's getting late, guys. It's 1:36 in the morning. You guys still rocking with me. I'm rocking with you. You rocking with me. I feel it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So hopefully Fizz is developing the right coaching staff, and then we got the right developmental staff too. You know what I mean? Teach these guys how to get out there and be aggressive. Teach these guys to get out there, be aggressive, but also understand the game at the same time. You know what I mean? Hopefully that's what we can teach them to be. Yeah, Triple G. I mean, yeah. Them hound dogs and come out there howling on you, boy. And have you scared. Let's talk NBA rumors before I get out of here. Talk a few NBA rumors. I mean, it's not a whole lot going around. We know Toronto is willing to send some guys packing. You know what I mean? He's willing to send some guys moving along. I had somebody ask me today, am I interested in DeMar DeRozan? Not at all. Not at all. I'm not interested in DeRozan or his contract. I think we covered that in the last show. Not interested in it at all. Look, DeMar DeRozan, he's cool. He's nice. I feel like he's a little bit too small for the... That's just me. I think he's a small guy. He can play, though. He can hoop. Not that he can't hoop. I don't know. He just doesn't do it for me. And then he makes a lot of money. And we're not ready to pay out a lot of money. If we got to, we're going to have to pay KP. He's the only guy right now that I think we need to be paying money to when that time comes. So, you know, I don't want anything to do with DeMar DeRozan. You know, I just don't see we have a need for him. Kawhi Leonard, on the Kawhi Leonard front, the San Antonio Spurs, you know, they want to sit down with Kawhi Leonard between now and the draft, try to work things out, try to talk about what they can do. Him and Pop's going to sit down and talk. You know what I'm saying? So that's good for the Spurs, right? But they're not gonna entertain anything at all until they sit down and talk. I mean, and listen, same thing happened with Lamar Aldridge last year, right? Lamar and Pop sat down and talked. They worked it out. Lamar came back, had one of his best years. You know, we'll see what happens with Kawhi. I think the same thing could happen with Kawhi. Of course, you know, Kyrie Irving has an opt-out. And I seen some stuff. I think I seen it earlier in the chat about Kyrie Irving being traded to the Knicks or something. I don't know if I'm interested in Kyrie Irving, his contract, and his bad knee. Or not bad knee, injuries. I don't know if I'm interested in that, to tell you the truth. But Kyrie Irving is under contract this season. Then he has an opt-out, so he can opt out this summer. The assumption has been all along that he would decline the player option and sign a max deal with Boston, who can pay him the most money. Slam dunk, right? Question mark. Probably not. I don't think that's given anymore. He's injury prone. And oh boy there, Terry stepped up and hooped in the playoffs. So, I don't know, Kyrie. You might want to opt in. Yeah, you know, listen. NBA Room is going to pick up hot and heavy, and the Knicks going to be involved in some of them. You know what I mean? BN. No, that's not BN. I don't know BN's lover. I don't know about all that. Anyway, you say the Knicks would want DeRozan, but not for the price the Raptors are asking for him. I don't think the Knicks want DeRozan at all. I don't think they will want him at all. We don't need him. And his contract is ridiculous for what we're trying to do. You know what I mean? So I do not think we'll do anything with DeMar DeRozan at all. You know. Anyway, listen, it's late. And I'm gonna head off until Friday. You know, we talked about some good stuff. Talked about some draft prospects, first and second round. I enjoyed this show. Hope you all enjoyed the show. And like I said, you know, I appreciate you guys coming on and staying on with me for 2 hours up until 2:00 in the morning whenever I get on. I definitely appreciate it, without a doubt. I always need to let you guys know that. You know, always got to let you guys know, because I appreciate you getting on, staying on. And the numbers keep growing. The numbers of people that are watching continue to grow. You know, show by show, week by week, it's growing. It's getting bigger and bigger. So, and that's you guys. That's you guys. So I really appreciate it. That's you guys. I appreciate that to the fullest, man. Because the numbers keep growing. And, yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it. All right. But listen, I'm heading out. And I will be back on Friday night after the game. You know what I'm saying? Friday night after the game, we're going to talk some more New York Knicks. We're going to talk some more prospects. I'll talk about how this Mikal Bridges workout went. I'm sure we'll get some news about it tomorrow after the workout. And just for a little tidbit of news before I get out of here. I just had it up there. I must have let it go. Before I get out of here, the summer league begins July 2nd, I believe. Yeah. Utah Summer League begins July 2nd through the 5th. Sacramento, July 2nd through the 5th. And then Las Vegas, July 6th through the 7th. And of course, that Las Vegas Summer League is the big one. The Knicks didn't play in the Las Vegas Summer League last year. If they did, Frank would have played. It would have benefited them too. But the Knicks will be in the Las Vegas Summer League this year. So that's a good thing. That's good. All right. So as soon as the rookies are drafted, a couple weeks later, they'll be in Summer League. And yes, I am coming up to the draft. I'm coming up to the draft. So I'm, anyone, whatever it is, we'll talk about it a little bit. But yeah, I'm definitely coming up for the draft. My man said confirmed Simeon works for the Knicks. No, I work for myself, man. I work for myself. Do what I do for me. I promise you that. But I'm out, man. I'm gone. And we will we'll talk on Friday night after the Warriors most likely eliminate the Cavaliers. I don't know. Maybe the Cavaliers can pull one out. But I think they're taking them. I think it's done. I think they're gonna beat them in Cleveland. I think it's gonna be a sweep. All right. So I'm out. I will see you guys Friday night. Have a peaceful rest of your week. And take care of yourself. Peace. Knicks fans, if you enjoyed this stream, please subscribe below. Ring the bell, get a notification anytime that I go live. All summer long, we're covering the New York Knicks, the draft, free agency, summer league, camp, everything. We're talking about it. Peace. See y'all Friday, 11:30.